One of the completely new features in Runner Pro is RunBar. It's a simple looking utility bar that packs a lot of powerful features, and it lives just below the toolbar or the title bar. So let's dive in. RunBar has 4 sections: the quick access menu, the history navigator, JumpBar, and all the way on the right, the actions bar. With quick access, you have access to the history of artboards that you recently visited. So if I was working on the design of the profile page before, somewhere else in my document, I can go back to that place quickly using this feature. Jumping back and forward, that's where the history navigator comes in handy. You can think of it as navigation buttons like in your browser. Each time when you visit an artboard, it gets added to the history, and you can navigate between them with these 2 little arrows. This history is only temporary and it does not get saved to your account. So when you close the document or you quit Sketch, it is gone. And that is by design. I don't think anyone will really need that as a feature. Okay, let's continue with quick access. You can quickly collapse all groups in the layer list to tidy up the view. And you can hide some UI of Sketch, which is really helpful when you're working on smaller screens, like let's say on your MacBook, or if you really want to be in focus mode. So I can hide the toolbar, and I can hide the layer list and the inspector. You can also hide the RunBar, and if you happen to do that by accident, just bring it back by searching for it via Runner. A reference to all the features of RunBar and all the other Runner features can be found in our online documentation, accessible through Help. Now let's check out settings. You can completely customize the different sections in RunBar. We made this easy to do because we think it's important that you stay in control of how your Sketch experience looks and functions. So you can toggle off each of the sections. If for whatever reason you don't want to see the RunBar at all, you can disable it entirely by unchecking it here. But let me try to convince you otherwise in the rest of this video. Let's have a quick look at the shortcut settings. The view settings to toggle the layer list and the inspector in Sketch are Command Option 1 for the layer list and Command Option 2 for the inspector. So I pick Command Option 3 to toggle the RunBar visibility. And here on the bottom, we see I've already set up a couple of shortcuts for go back and go forward, and those relate to the history navigator arrows here in the top left. So I can see toggling those 2 and then toggling the RunBar on and off with the shortcut I've just set. All these shortcuts do not conflict with other Sketch features, and I find them easy to remember and execute. That's why they work well for me. But feel free to pick whatever you like. Now on to the JumpBar. The JumpBar is a collapsed view of all the layers in your document that is always accessible from wherever you are. So I can click on an artboard and find all the other artboards on the same page, and drill down even to its children groups and layers. So now I navigated to a different section in my document, and I can use the shortcuts that I had set up to quickly go back to where I want to continue. Lastly, you can use the JumpBar to hide specific layers or lock them, and that is specifically useful if you have the layer list hidden. Now on to the actions bar. The actions bar is like a mini toolbar that you can customize with all the actions that you frequently use, and it even works with plugin actions. By default, there are a few runner commands and sketch actions in this bar, but let me show you some examples of how customizing it to your needs can make it really powerful. There are some toolbar items that function as drop-downs, like insert or data or view, for example. And those work similar in RunBar. So I have data here, I can click it and it's a drop-down. Same for combine, or for example view. I can go to add toolbar items and find all these different items here, and view will contain all these actions that are shown below it. See? If you want to change the order of layers, it can be sometimes a bit cumbersome to do that in the layer list, especially if you have a lot of layers in your artboard. Now in the toolbar, you have these backward and forward options, and these are a little bit more special because they have some hidden functionality. If you hold the Option key, they turn into, instead of forward and backward, to front and to back. So you can send them all the way to the front or the back of your artboards. And this works similar in RunBar. So let's say we have this nice looking background shape and we want to put it right there. We can add these items forward and backward to the RunBar. And we can also use the Option key to send to back. So what we first want to do is hold Option and send it all the way to the back, and then click once without Option to bring it one layer forward. Now I'm going to highlight two plugins that work exceptionally well with the RunBar. Pinit is a plugin that applies multiple resizing settings to a layer based on common use cases. For example, components that should stay fixed on the artboard when it resizes, like a header or a sidebar or a footer. So I can add all those actions to my RunBar and use them. Let's demo. We have this artboard here, and when we resize it, it oddly resizes the header bar as well. Now this header has no resizing options set yet here in the inspector, and instead of clicking 4 times, you can click once on an icon that represents exactly what you want to achieve. Now when resizing the artboard, it behaves as expected. Now before adding some more plugin actions, I'll add a separator to keep my bar looking well organized. To reorganize the actions bar, you can hold Command to move the actions around. And by keep holding Command, you can drag them out to delete them again. And when you add a plugin action that has the default icon or not a very recognizable icon, you can add one yourself by dragging a new PNG layer on top of it. And just remove it by right-clicking and hitting Clear Image if you want to get rid of it again. Finally, I want to show you one last plugin that I've been using here on this artboard. It's called Truncat. With Truncat, you can truncate text layers in the middle, in the beginning, or in the end. So let's say I have this text layer. I can now quickly truncate it on the front, the head, or on the tail, on the back, and even in the middle, which is helpful for truncating file names, like in the macOS Finder, for example. That's it again for this video. Let's summarize the takeaways. You can access recently visited artboards and tweak the sketch interface with the quick access menu. You can use the back and forward arrows of History Navigator to jump between your recently visited artboards. You can set up shortcuts for toggling the RunBar and for History Navigator. JumpBar is there for you to go to any layer in your document with just 2 clicks. And the Actions bar gives you access to your most used actions. You just have to set it up to your liking. I recommend you to take some time to explore what RunBar setup works for you, so you can think less about what you need and where to access it while designing. Till next time.